available for anybody, but you might protect the property.
And that's what we gotta look for right here, whenever these things come.
Yeah, land use.
start to develop.
Land use is one of the first things we dealt with.
Maybe the president could, another committee, take a look at the one we had, and put some faces on it that, are neutral in the situation, we can kick this thing off.
You know, not to open a can of worms, I've come to these council meetings for many, many years.
Right.
There's a lot of back talking here going on now. Council is not in favor of zoning.
Really?
Now, yes.
Are you speaking?
Yeah, who's speaking to? I'm just talking about it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of backpedaling going on here. At the time, nobody wanted it. Now all of a sudden, yeah, we need it.
No, actually, I learned all along, Carol knows that. I think, Jim, that, I don't know where you come up with that comment at, but,
I come up because
and that's in your own mind, because there's absolutely 3 people that I can think of is really for it, because I got property beside my house.
I need
The
to. I need to.
the
I'm
elderly
worried about
lady,
who's gonna move
I
into.
got, what, two properties that are almost abandoned? I got the flower shop that's falling down. I mean, anything can happen around my place. I just stuck $60,000 addition.
Let's get in the ball and do something.
Right, I mean, I've been for it all along.
Let's set up a zone, a new zone.
No, that's right. Carol, do you have the, I mean, I probably have it at home. Do you
I have the list of who was on it and what the terms,
I do
I don't
too.
have it on, it's one of the few pieces of paper.
Well, let's
I know.
get, let's
I
get,
think a fair way to do it would be to advertise it in the paper and ask for
All new.
right. But we gotta make sure that, you know, it's not for one way or against the other. We gotta get people against it. And that's where we got struggles and back off.
Right off the get-go.
Right. How's that going?
Yeah.
Would they start shooting this to
Oh, absolutely.
done?
We already have it with them
Point,
now.
stop. And then maybe update it. And then there's 2.
Carol, Kenny, you said Carol has that?
Carol has, yeah, it says,
I actually got all the notes on all the meetings.
I'm excited about the fact that we're going to reopen that.
Like, I do have to back up what Mr. Zabisky just said. That it was brought up to council a few times after we presented it to council, and it kind of ended up being a dead issue. I don't know if Kenny, those were meetings that you weren't at, but it was a dead issue a few times when it was brought up. But it would be a great thing for the community to look into it again.
Right, and like I said, I probably made a bad decision on some of the people that I put on neutral, so anyhow, I'm excited about the fact that we might look into it again.
All right. Any more public comment?
I'd like to go back to the issue on Hill Avenue, freezing water.
Can I have your name?
Sherry Shellhammer. I'm requesting to have the road shut down because there is a daycare and people have, and kids walk on that street and there could be a lot of lives at stake when that water freezes. So I'm requesting to have that conversation.
We can't.
Did you say Hill Street or Hill Avenue?
Hill Avenue.
Feel out. Our borough workers have been doing their best to take care of it. I mean,
It's not resolving the fact that there's a daycare and there's kids walking down that street. When they come off the school bus on the top of Pine Hill, they come down that road.
We have people
And you
coming up the
cannot
long way.
stop on it. I don't care if you have four-wheel drive, I don't care if you have a snowmobile, you're not gonna stop.
my understanding that from our Eddie here, that they've been going up and salting it and scraping it.
That's all good, but what if it refreezes? It does every day.
And now, like you said, in the morning, it's a concern. Someone goes down over that hill in the morning.
Our postal worker froze today. She got stuck.
What we talked to before, what we have to do is find the source where that water is.
Right, until you do that, I think it should be closed. Because there are kids' lives at stake.
Okay, can you somehow, like, what our concern is going down over our hill, you cannot go up our road. I mean, certain individuals can, but most people are not allowed to go down over the hill. That is a solid sheet of ice now in the morning, down to Butler Road. I mean, we're leaving, you're gonna slide right out on the Butler Road. it's a total collision.
May I ask, Eddie, why can't we close that? I mean, if
Because,
there's another
like-
way around it,
Change your own way sign.
I mean, if it's dangerous and if people are gonna get hurt, why can't we close it?
But does it cause a problem for emergency vehicles?
I mean, if they can't even get up, they can't get up.
We come up with, I mean, full four-wheel drive on Saturday, no problem. But full four-wheel drive. And we scraped it about 2, 3, 4 times. Then put
I mean, the people who live on it are asking for it to be closed because
Right.
it's dangerous.
But,
I'm just curious
with my
why.
brother-in-law, his mother-in-law lives there with them. She goes out there for kidney dialysis every day. And they bring that van in, and she has to get in the van every day. Go out by van every day.
I mean, not to interrupt you, Ed, but, the one day, actually, that bus got stuck on 4th Street. The
I mean, I don't
pickup,
know.
that they pick her up.
Yeah.
If that's because I guess they weren't plowing 4th Street, so that bus was actually stuck on 4th Street, could not get up into her house to get her.
See, I didn't know that, but,
Well, our
I know-
concern
I
is
know
that
it
there's
goes
people
there
that
every
come out
day.
of that doctor's office that don't know that road is icy and come flying down over. There's kids, like she said, on that road, and if they don't know it's icy, they don't abide by the speed limit on there, and they're gonna go straight down on the, Butler Road.
I've gone down
Yeah,
Butler
I
Road.
mean, so we just need to know what is the, I mean, it's gonna be another, what, week, 2 weeks? The road couldn't be closed a week or 2 weeks just for through traffic, for us who live down there? I mean, how many, they've been stuck out on that road, we've been stuck out on it, if a car comes down over not knowing we're stuck in the ice, well, she can't get out, but.
Well, for right now, Eddie, you make sure first thing in the morning, they go up there, take care of that.
They probably could go up and maybe
We're talking like 5:30 in the morning.
try and use the hose. And make the outside.
You see what
Or we use a couple on it. I mean, I don't know if that would be good. The hose might get in.
I mean, the snow's pretty much going.
They drop kids off at that daycare as early as 5 o'clock in the morning.
So I mean, it would have to be major.
Have them go up first thing in the morning, see what can be done, and see if you can find out where that water's coming from. Get a general idea. I'll get a hold of, well, obviously, your water employee will have him look into the water lines up there, see if there's any leaks in the water lines.
We can hardly hear. So then are you gonna make it, so if it isn't the water line and it's an actual water thing, then are you planning, will you discuss what to do, or will you?
Yeah, we'll
some kind of
discuss what to
resolution?
do. As soon as, when we find out where the water's coming from, what we can do, yes.
Okay, because we can't hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing you too. But yes, we will,
But so, I mean, even if it's not a broken water line, if it's a spring or whatever it is, so you'll see what, what the responsibility is and really where all that has to drain. And then will you, regardless of that, address the drainage down both sides of Hill Avenue? Because this is what, part of the problem is. Just, that's what we're asking.
I'll have Eddie take a look at it,
Okay.
see what can be done.
Thank you. So are you going to close that, or going to just accept this through traffic, or are you not?
I can't hear you.
Are you going to close that to through traffic and just let the people who live down there go there, or just for the next couple of weeks? Because as I said, someone drops the kids off down there like very early in the morning, and they all know to watch for it, but what do you?
Is there that much through traffic done?
Yeah, the people who, they're the ones who really fly. Because you have people who cut through the doctor's office, or people who cut down, you'd be surprised. And all you need is like one.
My concern is if we close it and put horses on each end, then,
Just don't,
She
well,
said that just through traffic would.
just
the
through
people who
traffic
live
would be
there.
allowed.
Yeah.
Close it to just everybody, but I mean, of course, the people who live there, because that's the only way, but that would certainly make a difference.
but if we close it, we're gonna have to close it. You can't.
No, you can't close
You
it.
can't.
No, because we know it's icy. That's,
So
what
you're
we're looking at is the people that do not know that it's a solid
It's like when you have the water lines and you were working on them.
Could do that.
You have the barrier when you were doing water lines, and people could go around who live there. You weren't having just all the regular traffic. Is that right? Yeah.
What we can do, Cliff made a suggestion, what we can do is put a sign up that says local traffic only.
So we talking about forcing it, closing it? Local
Well,
traffic?
they want-
What is the conclusion?
But not to the people who live there. They're talking just the through traffic.
Right, so we're gonna close it where the sign says.
No, not close it, no, they put a horse there, half on the road,
So
half
you don't
on the
have it
road.
on the horse, where you gonna hang this local sign out?
You're gonna have a horse there, but local traffic only. I mean, it might not gonna stop everybody, but it's gonna stop some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put, there's a sign there, just stick it on the sign. Pull. But it might take a couple days to get the sign.
Pretty cool.
Take sign.
All right, we move on. I got my motion for the minutes. Oh, any more public comment?
I'll make a motion for the minutes.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Third page, towards the end, like the new truck. You say, the price will actually be around 7,000 to 8,000 than we initially thought. Do you need less than we initially thought? Word is it there? You want less? Yeah. Okay.
We'll give you a fact in mind. So I think the motion was made at 62, 70 something, and the stainless steel bed being added on, there was a discrepancy between the steel bed being all replaced and then putting the stainless steel bed on. The total price is $57,000.
We came in,
I don't think that was
came in under.
Yeah, it came in $4,000. Sorry. This is just.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, mayor's report.
Traffic, there's 9 citations, 12 warnings.
Yeah, me too.
On traffic, 2 disorderly conduct, criminal, 1 bad check, 1 possession of narcotics, and 1 drug paraphernalia. Captain Gahagan wishes to remind our residents, due to the harsh weather conditions, changes to warmer temperatures, drivers need to be aware of black ice conditions and make necessary changes in their driving habits to allow for sudden selective roadway conditions. Also, Officer Gahagan mandatory in-service training for officers.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, we can't hear you back there with the ice machine. Can you speak louder?
Really?
Give it your best shot. I'm sure you got it deep in there.
Give me a microphone.
Be nice
Get
to
a
be
microphone,
Towards the
have
hall.
everybody have
Stand
a
up, you didn't put his
microphone.
Barely reached the.
Everybody can hear.
Last night.
Is this a gang up on the 2 new recruits?
Just read it, Jim.
She's asking for you to be a little louder. How is that a gay up? Just the back row, we couldn't hear you because the ice machine was running.
I can't hear you people either, so.
I hear.
Yeah, where's
All
the
right.
microphone?
Where's the mic?
This is mandatory training for our officers in service. The cost is going to be $59.40 per officer. But since Officer Gahagan works for East Franklin Township, he will be trained through them. So we will not have to spend that money on him. So I'm asking the council for Officer Airgood, if they're willing to pay the $59.40 for him to go to mandatory training.
If it's mandatory training, then we really don't. It's mandatory.
My question to that is,
When I ran for this, I ran for an open council meetings. And I'm bringing to the public what cost of the taxpayers' money is going where. In the past, this wasn't done. And I aim, it has something to do with the police, and it's going to cost the taxpayers money. I'm bringing it to council and letting them make the decision.
but hey, but Mike, may I speak on that one you just asked? My question is, isn't he a part-time officer? Doesn't he get work more hours somewhere else? I mean, why?
Yes.
If it's mandatory, let the other person pay for it. I mean, he's got more hours there than he does.
I don't know if
He works for the county.
Oh, so that would not be police officer.
I don't think he works anywhere else as a police officer.
Correct.
That's correct.
One detective.
Well, I need a motion because it's the 18th, 17th, and 18th of this month.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that motion on the new business, but it's not doing that good.
It's 300 and something.
Yeah, it should be.
I'll wait till we get
No.
this.
Just don't forget.
From what I was.
All right, committee reports.
I have none.
Eddie?
Well, the guys did a good job for the, the weather they've had. We're gonna have a big deal next month on the spreader. It broke down and we had to get a new chain. It was $620, and then after you get looking, we needed new cogs on the back of the spreader. And then with that, yeah, you have to get the new bar across the back, the new grease fittings and that, and the bearings, and then on the front, it needs the same thing, but we just kind of wanted to get it together. But then we looked down the shaft on the spreader itself. It was bent about 30 degrees. Whenever it was going around, it was going around like lopsided. So we had to get a new pull, like a new shaft for that. So then we had to get 3 new bearings for it. And so really, we have almost a new spreader again, except for the 2 front bearings and the gears, let's say. So other than that, I think the gentleman did a real good job.
And you saved
Yeah.
us,
Excellent job.
you saved us a lot of money by doing it
Yeah.
yourself. I think.
Yeah,
wanna comment
and
on
the
it?
guys
Talking
did
to
it
Rick.
themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a few comments. They said, "Hey Ed, it would have been. Don't you think it would have been better for to send it over the Walsh and them do it? Been done in a day or two." I said, "Hey, if you don't learn to do it, you'll never learn to do it."
Mr. Morris, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
On the bills here, Walsh Equipment, repair for spreader, $1,300.
That was probably for all parts.
Change is what, $600
Yeah,
something?
change was $620.
What says here, repair, don't say parts, repair.
It shouldn't, unless they got something else. I mean, is that a new bill, or, I mean,
This is
yeah,
today,
what-
this is what we're voting on.
is that today? Well, that's parts. They did not do
While she's
nothing.
looking at that bill, they also hear back, Kenny, you sent me a text message about the truck, about the clutch went out of it.
Yeah.
And I'll give Rick credit, he went online,
Yeah.
he researched it, and he found out, changed the fluid, adjusted the clutch, and worked, and saved us problem, we thought we were gonna have to take it to get a new whole new clutch board.
Good.
I'll give Rick and Matt and Denny credit.
Yeah, that's a $1,100 bill right there. I think the bill, I got a price in the truck same day, just in case we had an emergency. I mean, because that was right in the midst of the
Yeah.
storm. $1,100.
It's almost $400,
And they probably saved by
It says
just,
here, repair Western Lights highway spreader, 3.5 hours.
they didn't do nothing.
Labor, $308. Parts, $992.
Well, let me look at that. I don't see what they, never left the shop behind, unless they called it. Oh, that's from January. That was the repair. Repair Western Light on highway spreader. Replace the harness, balls, and blue lights, replace couplers, the shear pins. Well, okay, see, they've replaced, front shear pin. And see the other shear pin on the other side, so they learned, to drill it out, put a new one in there.
But we
Now-
should incur that expense twice.
Yeah. So really, with what they did, they probably saved the Bora, I'd say a good $5,900 a month. With learning how to put the chain on and here, and, you know, the new shear pin on the other side. But they're gonna have to take those shear pins out again because that front is just the way, they'll have to do it, but, yeah, they probably saved the Bora $1,500, if not more. But, like I told the guys, I said, you could be out one night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it breaks down, at least you know what to do to start fixing it. And, I think they learned a lot, in doing it. So I'm proud of them.
I actually talked to men after you're done, and said,
No, it's not that hard. I mean, I went up, I had to look, and, then Rick said, I'll try it this way. I said, I'm not too sure. I said, I think, you have to take the front part off with the spinner. Well, he said, I'll try it my way. I said, well, go ahead, but I said, I think you'll end up taking the front spinner off, and they didn't, but I wasn't too sure myself, because it's been a little while for me, but then they ran into more. I mean, they get the front part fixed, and we'll have a new spreader. But I think that was the first time anything was done except for that bill there. I just knew about it.
Ken, I guess what's anything new with the building?
building situation is right now, go ahead.
And there's a young lady that spoke here. She's in a, I don't know what time camp we call that, a mauve?
Is that me?
Yeah. Is that a mauve hat or a?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's a
You
cover-up.
should- Okay. She wants a handicap sign put in front.
I want a no parking sign. I came
Oh.
home from the hospital
Well,
last
do you
Thursday.
have a handicap placard? Oh,
No.
okay, well, no parking.
Marie has one, Bob's mother, but I could not. The truck, I don't know whose house it was at, but it was right straight in front of my steps.
But if
Well,
we put a no parking sign there, though, that means you
Yeah,
can't
that
park
means
there.
you can't park there.
So we can't put that there.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
See, I thought you had a
You can
handicap.
put a hand, I
Okay.
talked to Rick, they
Mrs.
have
Elfro,
handicap parking
can you
signs.
get a handicap parking placard?
yes,
They
I
can-
can.
They
Well,
can-
then go
then
get a
they-
handicap
Get
Get
placard.
that, get it in there.
Yeah.
Where do I get it?
You ask your
Oh,
family
Your
doctor.
doctor.
Family
Oh, I
doctor.
have to have a prescription.
Yeah.
No, no,
Just
just go to your
proof from him
doctor.
to say, I hereby authorize Mrs. Oliver to have a
Call your
handicap.
family doctor and they
Yeah.
can print the form out.
They have
And
a
then-
form, that send it to the state will send it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it might
But we
take,
could be proactive on
Well, yeah,
that.
you'd be better off with the handicap.
yeah, you get a no parking, and you can't park here either.
Yeah, well, I have.
Yeah, see, I thought you were asking for a handicap.
A question is, putting that out
Thank you.
for it to be enforced, we have to have that in the motion, have that in the books. Do that at the
We'll make that a motion.
I know.
And we're,
Well, I want to finish the building. I got, where the building's at right now, they're done with the floors. I think they're putting, the last touches on the moving around the trim. Pretty much the inside's done. And we have to have the, and I thought Henry was gonna be here tonight. He had talked to the person about
Henry's in the
cells.
hospital.
Okay.
Marie gave me this quote.
Okay, well, the next step would be actually the flooring to get it cleaned and waxed. Then after that,
Furnaces are in, the last time we talked, the furnaces were supposed to be in there next
everything's
week.
in, the doors, windows,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they're saying.
Okay, well, yeah, but we didn't have that the last meeting. They were supposed to be in the following week, but we never had another meeting after that to follow up to see if it did. This is the first, I was assuming.
Okay, well, everything's done in there except for the two people to finish up and hooking up their security stuff. I mean, Comcast is just in there on, I think Thursday, they talked to you? They talked to some Rick. It's the Comcast that called me out here, touch them, I assumed they were talking to you. But anyhow, they were in there Thursday doing their thing, and the final step to crew was Comcast. So Comcast had to have their stuff hooked up and get into the internet. We'll have to get together with two crew, talk about the security issue, and sit down and find out the program, the monitoring. The only thing left, real quick, the only thing left in the building on the outside is actually, finding some nice weather, getting that ground straightened up and the sidewalk, and then, and the gravel put in. And as soon as we do that, West Virginia Borough's, it's gonna, probably put in the paper to have an open house for everybody to see prior to the meeting. And that stuff like that there, to walk around. I mean, we've got some fine touches to do in there. I think there's handicap placards that need to be put up on the walls. A soap dispenser still needs to be up, but other than that, it's simple stuff. Everything's done. I mean, we gotta talk to two crew, and other than that, it's outside. So I'd say this next month, we gotta be able to, if we can get something done or something, we'll be able to the next meeting.
And you want to talk to people about that thing?
You know what, we're gonna have to have a meeting with him anyhow, this next phase is in. I'm gonna talk to him probably for Monday, so when he comes, do you wanna meet up there and we'll talk to him together? I'll have to talk to him and I'll give you a call. I don't know, I haven't contacted him yet because like I said, Comcast was just in here the other day. So I haven't had a chance to talk to him.
And they were, Rick and I were looking Saturday,
Okay.
and we don't think that they run the line from outside in. It doesn't look like it.
Well, they came off the pole, they ran the extra conduit on 650 or whatever you call it, cable from one pole by the alley to the pole in the corner.
Yeah.
It made the drop off that pole right there. If you see it, it's hanging right underneath the service line. I saw it the other day. They actually stopped, after they put the drop in, the installer came, because I guess, I don't know, different departments, but the guy that put the drop in doesn't actually do the install. So the guy that came to do the install obviously had the drop outside in the building because he hooked up everything else. I talked to him at the end of the day. He called it in the beginning. I wasn't available, so I assumed he called another councilman. And, but I did talk to the guy at the end of the day and he was successful in the install. So, yeah, Comcast. It's up to us. They had, so they had 3 lines there. We had cable in 5 rooms, but only one hookup. Now, if we decide we want to put a TV in some other room, we have to have a box. And we have one box.
Okay.
So, but, yeah, everything's done. Like I said, I'll talk to 2 crew tomorrow. I'll let you get involved in the conversation when I meet him up in the building. If anybody else wants to be there, just let me know. I mean, he's gonna have to have a meeting with us to show us the monitors, the system, how it works, and all that stuff. So, regardless, we're all gonna have to meet again. But I will contact Ed whenever I do contact 2 crew. I'll meet him up the next week.
Is the meeting still on Thursday for the
I have,
schedule?
yeah, right. You know, I'll be honest with you, I got called out late at the last meeting, so I wasn't there to reschedule. If it is March 6th, then it's always a month, so yes, I imagine. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, did they include the security for Attorney's office? Because it was discussed in the plans.
That's-
And then Ed brought it up too, when we were there just ago. He said, did they put security into part?
And that's what you were talking to me about just now, right? Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, too, crew hasn't been back since they did the cameras, since they did the monitors. So, I mean, they have not been since probably 3 or 4 weeks. Their next move will be me contacting them, we'll meet them up there and talk about that issue, because I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet. They said, they can't do anything on Comcast. Comcast has done it completely the other day, so as soon as I talk to them, we'll get together and talk to them together. But now, to answer your question, Lindsay, I have not talked to them. We will.
I know my stepbrother was there the last time.
No, I haven't, but we will here before this is Tuesday, so Friday. You gonna be at the meeting? Everybody's invited. If anybody wants to see the final, probably one of the final meetings with Senate Engineering.
Thursday.
Thursday at 6 o'clock. Yes, sir.
What about the holding cell?
The holding cell is the holding cell. I mean, what do you have?
You have restraints put in.
That's, I haven't been up there to see if they were put in or not. The grab bars is probably up to us to supply. But the reason why that's not gonna be that big of a deal, why? Mayor, is because we have, one of the, what do you call the extra money we put out there? What you call it? Change orders. One of the change orders was, because we had no idea where the officer was gonna want the grab bars. We ended up putting 3/4 inch drywall around the whole room, so we can put it anywhere.
Officer Hagan told me that he was going to build string, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, he's gonna weld it, paint it, yeah. I mean, I prefer to use fingers. I don't know, it's something we're gonna talk to Officer Big about. So, he's gonna save us money, but I don't know how, if it's gonna look nice. I mean, I don't know. What's council think? Brand new building, welded, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, I mean, if he does a nice job, it looks good, that's fine, I mean.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with
Right, I don't have any problem with it either, but I mean, if he comes up with something that's like,
Yeah. Well, I'm just letting you know, I talked to him about it, he said he's gonna do it.
yeah, he did tell me that too. Restraints.
Your mother's restrained. No. You have a prisoner in there, he has to have the restraint.
Like handcuffs, like handcuffs.
Bench or something.
Well, what we originally talked about is having what we originally talked about is having a aluminum bench secured to the wall, so you can't rip the bench out, and then grab bars to handcuff to. So, I mean, whenever he's doing paperwork, the guy doesn't attack him. And actually, the thing about it is there's a separate room there now. So, I mean, he can actually restrain the guy and lock him in his own room with the, he can be in a whole different, I don't know when we're gonna get to that part of it. I mean, we'll have to get with the mayor and get with the Officer Gay. But yeah, it's just a matter of putting a bench in and a couple grab bars could be done in probably a day.
My concern is he know enough that this is gonna be secure.
I don't know, we'll have to look at it, like I said. He does have a machine shop.
I mean, if it's gonna be to code,
I don't know if there is a code on the grab bar. That's something I have to-
Could ask this Thursday night.
Yeah, we'll have to ask.
And then somebody gets hurt.
I know there's codes on signs, and grab bars and handicap
That's right.
facilities, on bathrooms and stuff, heights and restrictions. but I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll have to ask.
Anything else?
That's it.
Any other committee reports?
Nothing on shade tree.
Yeah, I have one more.
Nothing on shade tree.
Uh,
He's on shade.
I know whenever that snow was going on and we were down to nothing, let's say, and, I know I was looking, and Rick was looking. He called me up to the shed, and, we were trying to put the heads together. Then I said, hey, how about the state? And he said he called, the one gentleman up, and he put us on the thing for salt through the state. And here he got a thing back saying that we were denied salt from the state because they didn't have enough salt. So we were kind of, let's say, down to, like I said, still nothing. So then Rick found a load, in Cleveland. So it was $99 a ton, $3.60 to bring it here, and so I just said get it. I mean, there's nobody else was getting salt, so I told him to bring whatever the limit was. So I don't know if we got 20 tons or 22 tons or 23 tons, but we have salt now. That was good. I mean,
Hopefully we don't need it.
Yeah,
Well-
it's a $1,600 bill right there.
yeah, right there will be a good push. So we spent a lot last,
You just go ahead
couple
and do that
weeks
Eddie,
ago.
on your own.
Pardon?
You just go ahead and spend that money on your own.
Well,
I mean, was there a committee brought together to decipher on whether or not you spent that?
no, I did it on my own.
Is that
Because,
allowed?
See, you always can
well, I
criticize
voted,
Bernie for buying something
Right.
and not having everybody's
Right.
approval.
right?
Bernie did everything.
You're in the right.
Next time I'll do that. Then whenever the salt's not there, stop.
No,
That's not.
That's
not
the way
the
we'll
way
do
to
it.
look at it.
Well, we did exhaust our
But
options,
what can you
like
do?
our CoStar government contract, we got our maximum from Morton Salt.
Yeah, we got our max.
And then we requested salt from PennDOT,
Yeah,
FEMA, but
Yeah.
we were denied.
we were looking everywhere
Right.
for salt.
Really just.
I think the only thing we're asking here is, like I said, is a fine line. I don't think there is an emergency
Right,
situation.
with the emergency
By God, if we need salt,
situation,
it's
no.
salt, but, we
No,
don't want
I
to step
didn't
over
go
the line
by-
we had to take for the last couple of years.
I didn't go buy four or five loads at, $100 bucks to put one load. But with a lot of money. I was gonna call Vez, and then I'm thinking, well, geez, I call Vez, or call Henry, Henry's gonna say, well, maybe call Vez. So then I'm waiting for Vez, I could call Kenny, I could call whoever, and they might say, well, I don't know, let's wait around, and that load might be gone.
My personal opinion is, don't call me if you need salt, buy it.
I know. I mean, what do you do? I mean, the Eastport don't have any. We got salt. But they need 100. Yeah,
Kudos to Rick for finding it, kudos to
Yeah.
you for
yeah.
taking the initiative.
Well, I think it comes to the same thing with the vehicles too. When Kenny called me about the clutch was out, that's an emergency situation. That's not something that we, even if we have a meeting, it has to be advertised, you have to have a special meeting, and we can get a full snow by the time that
Right. Yeah, I didn't want to
we have
spend that
that
money,
meeting.
but we're looking at a snowstorm that was supposed to drop 2 feet of snow off, or a foot and a half or whatever. So we only got 3 inches, but
Right, and I feel that President Council ought to be able to make a emergency decision. If that clutch goes out, something like that, I'm never gonna question you. If I wreck, I'd rather have a question.
But I just pose a question, just to clarify it. I was always under the impression that the president of council is not on individual committees.
He's the chair of all
You
chairs.
oversee all of the committees, and you can sit in on the meetings.
No, I
But
couldn't,
you
can't
wouldn't
say.
be on the police, and you wouldn't be on the,
I would be able to sit in on the meetings.
and you wouldn't be on the shade.
I wouldn't be able to sit in the meetings because that would constitute a forum for people.
Unless it's a work session.
I mean, you don't sit in on the meeting.
other than the committee, not other than the committee as a whole.
She's missing NCIS. You want to go to bed? I'd like to get something to eat out of
She's
this.
asking why I put myself on the committee, being that I'm chair of every committee. She said I can sit in on that committee meeting, but if I do, then that constitutes a quorum.
Historically, not to interrupt you, Mr. President, the way we did it before, you are the chair of all chairs,
Yeah.
and most of these committees have 3 to 4 people on anyhow. You can't break the sunshine law and have 4 people there at one time. I do think there's an exception for a work session, but if somebody can't make the meeting, surely you're entitled to say it. I mean, I'd love to have you there. I mean, there's like the last meeting we had, I don't think I could make it, because again, I was on call, and I got called away. It was Monday. Surely you could have sat in on that street meeting.
Well, we didn't have it because Henry was.
Mr. President,
But I mean, that's usually the way it goes. He's the chair of all chairs. You can say, you can change the chairs at all, you can change the committees anytime you like. At your leisure, you can sit in any. So,
And
yeah.
and Nancy, I didn't mean to say it like that, but, you know,
I just posed a question too.
Yeah,
you
right.
know,
but
Just so
I
we're all on the
just
same.
the way I come off,
page.
it's just that I figured we needed the salt.
I agree,
have
we
to
needed the
get it.
salt, yes. I just wondered how much money we're allowed to spend.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to spend that amount.
No, one unfinished business.
Next.
Yes, what this is, with this, not the committee, so we're,
Can you clarify?
Clarify that.
Is he permitted on these or not?
Actually, you shouldn't be on them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think that if you pick up this form right here, in my opinion, you're the chair of all chairs, everybody knows that. You shouldn't be on the meetings, you should have the other council people. So to clarify it, I'd say his name needs to come off and replace with another responsible council.
what they're talking about is Mr. President formed committees, and Mr. President gave himself onto 3 committees, put himself on 3 committees where maybe somebody else could have sat on.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, there's just not enough.
No, no, agree.
I mean, is that the way it is? You're the.
Right, and I would attend meetings
Right.
to be there, and if I was the 4th person, I was leaving. But there was a lot of meetings I attended, I was only the 3rd person. You know how it is. Everybody doesn't show up to the meetings, but so, just so there was not 4th meeting, I was permitted to stay.
I mean, I've never seen it before, but it's certainly not something that's.
I know when we did police interviews.
Yes.
We were there. We
Right.
walked in, and you said, oh, I can't stay, I'm the one, so we left.
Why can't?
Because I would have made it 4th person, and that would have been a quorum, and then people would have been complaining about the sunshine law.
I mean, it has to be a public meeting because we're there.
It has to be advertised.
Constitutes and be advertised.
Yeah, we'll have to change it. Unfinished business.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're under unfinished
I mean,
business.
we're in a position where we can vote and make motions. My question is, at this point in the council meeting, I'd like to know that we've had several different decisions made without Councilman Henry's opinion, voice to be heard on. One was the reorganization of council. Another one was the appointment of a water authority board. And the third one was, I think, appointment of an auditor. Now, my question is, the council, should Paul Henry, Councilman Henry's opinion should be heard, or are you interested in making your opinion heard in the end?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we offered that to Councilman Henry Morris. We reopened up voting because he did not get the vote. And if Councilwoman Henry can vote, that way every member of council has voted. We can put it to rest. Yes, yes. Well, he's already voted, we can point out and vote, get him on there.
He's
At
not
this
able
time,
to, so it would have to be, we're just gonna go over this and over this until you're all here. You
He's in the hospital.
Well, he's already voted, we know what he's voted.
Yeah, but he's not, I mean, he has to vote.
He's still in the
It's just gonna be
He
the
was on
same
the phone
thing.
earlier. Okay, well then we're gonna table this.
How can you take it? I mean, you got a majority right here.
You had a majority
I mean,
before.
we're asking my honor, and that's used, it's still,
That is true.
the majority's here.
Yeah, if we have a quorum, we can do it this year, I'd like to offer him that, but we can vote now. And which motion do you wish to reopen?
I would like to reopen the position for the water authority. So I would like to make a motion to reopen the
Water Authority Board.
water authority, the member, the board member, to appoint a new.
This is the first time since 1981 that we haven't been able to give approval to the new board member.
So are you gonna reopen every decision that's made, every meeting?
No, I think, my personal opinion, we only had one council member here last meeting that didn't have their opinion to be made, and he was pretty accurate. He wanted to have his voice opinion to be made, which it was. The only one left that didn't have an opinion is Councilman Henry. So I think it's a done deal.
But he's not here to vote.
Well, I mean,
We have a quorum.
we have a quorum. I mean, if
You had a forum last time.
It's the same
You had a
problem
quorum
we
the time
had
before
last
that,
meeting.
Exactly.
This is
So
not.
It's gonna continue.
There won't be a
Once
time.
precedents is set, they continue.
It's gonna continue on and on. It's gonna, we are going to now become a laughing stock.
Let me ask you a question.
Just like Fort
I
City.
mean, what's the difference between your dad having his
I'm not
opinion?
saying that there is, I'm saying he's not here tonight.
Well,
For
I
the
mean,
same reason,
If there's a
for the
majority,
same
if there's a
reason.
majority
He's
tonight.
trying, again, trying.
He's in the hospital, I'm not
I know.
calling him again. The doctor is in the room with him, did you know that?
No,
Okay, then don't comment.
This is different than before, because we have a quorum tonight. It was a tie vote the last time, and it went to another meeting. If it's not a tie vote tonight, then it's a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, if you get
So what's gonna
Every
happen
time
then?
somebody's not here, it's gonna go back the other way.
What happens when it comes back?
And Ruthie made the statement,
Back and forth, back and forth.
Ruthie made the statement that we are all here for a reason. And that is to attempt to get along. We need to put differences aside,
Right.
because government in general is not working because of this exact situation.
And I don't see the picture between the last meeting and this meeting.
I'm not talking any
Nobody's
meeting.
trying to
This
start
is
an argument on this right
ridiculous.
here. What we're trying to do here is let this woman have her opinion made.
Have her say, she could have been here last meeting.
Why are you so
Dad's-
against everybody?
I'm not a,
Like, listen, like your tone of voice to everybody, you're the one starting all these problems right
I
now.
see government from here up.
You don't like my mom.
And this has
That's the only
nothing to
complaining
do
you're-
with your
it's
mother.
the
My
only
God, I've known her
complaining you've made
forever.
all day.
You made a comment here forever.
Yeah, that's gonna go on. You wanna make a motion?
Order.
Cannot.
So,
Motion?
I second it. Oh, well, actually, there's no second. We're reopening it. The last time. I vote for Rick Conley.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I need to make a motion.
Andrew, is it legal for them to reappoint somebody to the authority board at their
We can
discretion?
fire
I
anybody.
don't believe so.
Everyone that's appointed serves at the council's discretion.
All right, so now I make a motion that we remove Carol Augustine and put Rick Cogley on
No,
as
don't
a.
do that. We have to vote on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We have to have motions for
Make a motion.
So I nominate Rick Conley. And any other,
I nominate Carol Augustine.
any other? No, we haven't voted yet.
No, we haven't.
No, they're just small.
That's two nominations.
Oh.
We not make it, we eliminated it, and then reopen it.
Like Katan's last night.
You have to remove some of it first.
Okay, that's what I said.
How many do we appoint? What about Bobby Meyer?
He's on there. He's on there already.
That's
Who
what I'm
were the
getting at.
nominee, who were the two
Who are you
people?
taking off?
State the two
No, no,
people.
We're taking, we're removing, we have to remove one.
Okay.
Who is it?
Carol Augustine. Carol
Don't you have to make a motion?
That's what I was trying to do.
That's what the solicitor's saying, you got to have.
You have to make a motion to remove her first.
Okay, so I make a motion to remove Carol Augustine from the water.
Is there a second? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed?
Four to two.
Thanks for your service, Steve.
Now, if the water board authority position is open, I'd nominate Rick Cogley.
Now that it's open, should we advertise again?
Those are the only two positions.
Maybe somebody else wants it.
Now we have a, always we're gonna take another month to go to.
Okay, so I think it ought to be advertised
I
again.
think we have a candidate.
No, you don't.
Yes, you have a candidate on the floor, it's well qualified. I mean,
He knows there's.
And it was a recommendation of the water board authority for good reasons. It wasn't just a recommendation. I mean, he has business agreements.
Carol was just a recommendation.
No, she had, they looked at business agreements, there's the lines and what's the deal with that. Don't you agree with that? Look how many times he's been out.
I don't
there.
know, I don't know.
Well,
He just told me,
Ed?
Specifically
I,
recommended Rick.
I didn't know him was the water, you know.
he just told me Saturday that I was talking to him about,
Point of order.
Doing work.
Point of order here, we got a motion on the floor. Can you ask for a second motion?
No, we haven't had to open up nominations for anybody else that can possibly be voted on.
I mean, the opinion is, it's council's, leave it. Your opinion is, Rick. I'm gonna second the motion, and we gotta make a vote. So, I mean, it's pretty.
No, we have to have other nominations and then at the end vote, just like the last time.
Carol Augustine.
You're nominating Carol?
Yeah, let's get this over with.